Focusing on climate change, we have to take into consideration a direct impact of extreme weather. And extreme weather is when there are major increases from the average temperature and the changes in weather. This is known as extreme weather. Direct impacts include increases in temperature, larger amounts of precipitation, and even heat waves that are more frequent and intense. These heat waves are also the cause for the most casualties, unlike any other types of extreme weather. In the image shown to the right, we will see the direct impacts listed out and also how these direct impacts affect the carbon stock. And when there's changes in carbon stock, it also affects our social and behavior context, health system conditions, and health impacts. And when it comes to indirect impacts, we look at mental health. Due to climate change, our mental health tends to also change. These changes include stress, depression, PTSD, anxiety, and even self-harm. The main reason for these changes is due to forced migration and displacement because of the change in the climate. Climate change can also affect the livelihoods of people, such as an increase in job loss, food insecurity, greater infectious disease, etc. And to the right, in the diagram, we see the effects that climate change has, and focusing on indirect impacts, it has forced migration, displacement, hunger, water scarcity, malnutrition, and loss of housing. But in the end, all these three effects, from direct effects, intersectional effects, and indirect effects, all come back to adverse mental health. And examples of adverse mental health is affective disorders, anxiety disorders, PTSD, psychotic disorders, and substance use disorders, which is affected by climate change. Looking at this diagram, we see that climate change affects children, communities of color, older adults, and low-income communities. Children have a higher risk of heat stroke and illness rather than adults. Communities of color live in risk-prone areas and face cumulative exposure to multiple pollutants. Older adults are more vulnerable to power outages and require evacuation, and low-income communities face mental and physical illnesses during flooding and crowded shelters.